Hello there.
Scott, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's good.
So we just wrapped on Mando season 3, and we have some thoughts. We have some good, some bad, and yeah, man, let's just jump in. What were your impressions? I guess we'll do episode first. Let's just start there before we get into
Yeah.
the season impressions, man. What are you thinking? I think you're pretty positive on it, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think it hit me really hard in the moment. Like the action was awesome. That's what we'll talk about a little more in depth. I just felt like I was really engrossed in the action that was going on, and it was just a full throttle from start to finish. Um, I mean, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I thought they got the spectacle right, especially like some of the fight scenes, just the overall tone of it. I thought was really good, and so they're you could definitely tell they were trying to go out with a bang this season, and I think they
Yeah,
accomplished that. What they were going for. It was really good. I want to kind of address the elephant in the room for me, and so this is going to take us down a path of some good things and a path of some negatives that I had for the episode. The previous episode was called Spies, right?
yeah,
Um, and unless I'm doing my math wrong, I'm only coming up with one spy. So I don't. I kept
yeah.
looking for the second spy in this one, and I don't think I saw it. And so I think that kind of was setting me up for a twist that never came. And so I think that
Love this.
kind of TV shows are all about expectations. Games, video games that we play, TV
Yeah,
shows. And I think if you go in with the wrong expectations, sometimes it can affect your enjoyment of an episode or TV show or something like that. So, were you surprised when we didn't get a concrete answer to who the second spy was, or if there even was one? Was that just a missed marketing thing or a miss? I don't know. What are your take on that?
man, I don't know. I've been trying to think about that. Like,
Hmm.
is there something we overlooked? Is honestly my opinion is that there's just more to the story. I think there is probably some type of treachery afoot somewhere, and maybe
Okay.
it didn't come to fruition. Maybe like Gideon has a fail safe within the Mandalorians. So
Hmm.
I just think it was kind of like let's put a bookmark on that, and we'll come back to
Okay.
it.
Well, obviously, y- you know, we didn't see anything about the Shadow Council. So
No.
that there could be more than meets the eye there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Elia Kane could also be working with other people in the Shadow
Sure.
Council that we're not 100% sure about. Um, so I don't know. I guess I just kept looking for that twist and it didn't come. And so,
I get that.
that was kind of a, you know, I don't know. They did a lot of build up. I feel like in the season, and I don't think it all the way paid off. But I don't want to start on too negative. Let's get into some
Yeah.
of the positives. Did any of the performances stand out to you? What was some of the
Man,
things you liked?
I am a 100% Axe Woves fan. That guy really came into his own this episode, and yeah, I just him just hurtling up towards the sky in the beginning. It was cool. It was
Dude,
epic.
just blasting through the atmosphere. Yeah,
Yeah.
like like full blast.
Then taking on all the TIE interceptors on the capital ship by
Hmm.
putting on the guns and autopilot, and then
Yeah,
I really thought, I don't know about you, I thought he was going to sacrifice himself there,
you thought he was gonna
but
put it in like hyperdrive through the base.
don't even, don't even, man, don't do
You
that.
know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah, no, he
I thought
made
he
it
was going to go
out.
down with the ship, but he popped out. It was
Yeah,
just cool. I just liked his character. He's grown on me a lot, and I thought that was a real breakout moment.
yeah, for sure. That was cool. Yeah, I think for me the thing that I don't know, one of the performances that stood out was Katie Sackhoff. They keep as Bo. They just keep building and building and making her character stronger
Yeah.
in a good way. I mean, if she's going to be the leader of the Mandalorians moving forward, you know, they obviously invested a lot into her character this season, which,
Right.
you know, me as a fan of her, I think that was smart. And so, man, I thought just her flying in with the dark saber,
That was
you
so
know,
cool.
drawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a cool fight scene, and you could tell they splurged on that one, right? With the budget of whatever they had to do with
Yeah.
CGI or, you know, whatever. It was
It
worth
was
it
rad,
because that was a
though.
cool scene.
It was
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those moments where I'm trying to be in the moment with the movie, and I was like, "This is awesome!" Like, just for
Yeah.
real, this is awesome.
Yeah, same. I'm always usually like taking screenshots or like making notes for our, you know, whenever we do the podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I know it's going really good when after about 4 or 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, I haven't pushed print screen in a while. I gotta like rewind it and catch those screenshots again. You know what I mean?
Good.
Yeah, totally. And that was one of those moments, 100%. What did you think about, I guess, Din, maybe, and Grogu as well? Maybe they're a package deal, you know, about kind of what happened in the episode. And I mean, are they setting something up? What do you think, you know, maybe could happen with them moving forward?
So you want to go for the big question already?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to think back to the episode, and yeah, I mean, I guess we had some cool scenes with Din fighting and getting out of captivity.
I mean,
you
that
know.
whole ray shield scene was awesome. It felt like a one of those fighter games where you have to keep leveling up as
Yeah.
you go, and you're taking their weapons and
Like
fighting.
Call of Duty gun game, yeah,
It
you
was,
get to
yeah,
take someone out and you get your upgraded weapon as you go, kind of a thing. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Innovative, great cinematography. It was just cool. Grogu flipping around. I mean,
Yeah,
shit, it was what Luke taught him while he was with them,
Right.
and it was just
Right.
cool to see that. I think the chemistry between Grogu, Bo, and Din was cool to see on set, and I love that they all had some pretty decent character progression.
okay. So do you think they're gonna get married and adopt Grogu together?
I mean, that would be
Even though
pretty.
Din can't remove his helmet.
That would be pretty totes adorbs, I would say.
No, but seriously though, it was a cool thing to see Din kind of take on Grogu, you know, and say he wanted to adopt him, and
Yeah.
it kind of binds them together now. Obviously,
Although
with whatever they decide to do with the
kinda
shows.
That's
I did too. I guess I thought like a youngling and your caretaker. It's like, well, it's
yeah,
kind of like
but
a parent.
they've been calling him, like, everyone referred to him as his son.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even
Your
Bo
kid
was
or
like-
your kid. Kind
He's
of.
like, he said, did you think your daddy was the only one of us like that? Like, I already
Yeah.
assumed it was, but I guess this was like, no, this is the real commitment.
Do you think it was more of like a foreshadowing, like, okay, we're just putting all doubt aside that going forward, they're always going to be together in
Yeah.
the show, like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, the last thing I do want to ask you one more thing about Grogu going forward. Are you happy with this development, or do you feel like Grogu actually needs more Jedi training, or is this a thing where maybe he can still get that somewhere
Yeah.
else? Or what are you thinking with the development of Grogu moving forward?
This is one of the things that I missed from the show, and where I thought it was going to go for a little bit. I feel like we've seen a lot of progression within not only Bo, but Din and some other characters. But Grogu being there all 3 seasons now, it hasn't really felt like much progression. He went with Luke, he hung out, he got a little more proficient and wise,
of
and
course.
obviously he's grown, but like, I felt like I was ready to, once we saw the backstory of him, I thought maybe we're going to get kind of a development episode of insight to where he is, even though he can't really speak. So I thought we'd see a little more development there. And I don't know, I kind of expected him at the end to like bust out a little lightsaber or something. It's like fan servicey as that would be. It would almost like say, hey, he got to keep the lightsaber too.
I was thinking maybe he would even actually speak. I mean,
Yeah,
to your
that too.
point, you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
some kind of jump in character progression, like you're saying.
Because I was thinking about it too. Yoda, if you go by what he said, how long he's been alive in a Jedi, he was already teaching at 100 years old,
Okay.
and Grogu is about 52 now, and that would mean
Interesting.
that. I mean, did Yoda progress?
He's got to
that
develop a lot.
fast? Yeah, like is there a big jump pretty soon?
Well, maybe it's understood that even their species are just more in tune with the Force than others, because obviously, you know, Grogu is performing some pretty big feats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At
Yeah.
this point in his development, so maybe that's just something that's, you know, they think the audience is to be understood about his species. Maybe he's just
Yeah.
more in tune, or you know, I'm not sure,
There's
but
also been rumors about Yoda's species lore and them being like embodiments of the Force and that kind of stuff.
interesting.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think there's a lot of story to be told there, and I wish they
Mm-hmm.
would have started it this season.
All right, Scott. So the episode was cool, but I really got some Last Jedi vibes when I watched this, and if you know me, that's not a positive thing.
Sure,
And so let me tell you why.
best
I,
movie ever made.
I feel like this season did a really good job of setting up some pretty big payoffs, right? And I think
Yeah.
they did a good job of building, and even with the last episode, Spies, of kind of getting us intrigued about, okay, who could be working with Moff Gideon, or, you know, some of those types of things. Similar in the same way The Force Awakens really set up a lot of cool things, like the Knights of Ren and some other stuff that when it came to Last Jedi, we just didn't get a payoff to those things. And so
Yeah,
let me give you some specific examples. So, I guess one of the big ones is the spies. Like, I really was looking at the armorer as maybe a potential spy, and not even a spy, but maybe just an armor reveal. Like, I felt like they were setting that up.
and I'm
And
gonna
I
have
didn't get
rebuttals
that.
to you. For,
No,
for
that's
everything
perfect.
You bring up here. Yeah,
That's perfect. Yeah. And so my point is not that they should have done these things. My point is that they almost made it appear as they were, and then they pulled back. And so that's all I'm kind of frustrated with. I'm not, you know, if they wouldn't maybe have set up some of these things, I don't think I would care either way, like what direction they went.
Yeah.
So that's like one thing. I just maybe it's just me personally, I think I just want more information about the armor, and that's kind of frustrating. Like, who is she? Was she with Death Watch? You know what I mean? Was she a servant of Maul? You know, kind of a thing to just have more understanding. Do you want me to like pause at every one, or you want to jump in, or you want me to just kind of keep going?
Yeah, I'll jump in each one as like the rebuttal.
Okay, so what's up? Were you happy with how the armor was kind of handled and where everything's going with that?
Yeah, so I think that's a fair criticism going into this. But I think I still, at first I thought the armor is clean. Like, no, she's good. I'm still kind of on the fence. I think there is a chance she's playing the long game. Maybe there's an ulterior motive that wasn't just teaming up with Gideon and taking over. I think there's a goal that she probably has in mind, like a few steps further. And I think maybe that could be revealed, and it will kind of show us that she was the spy all along. She's playing both sides to get maybe a goal that she is only searching for. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you kind of bring up a bigger point, and I'll just quickly touch on it. And maybe that's kind of my frustration, is maybe some of these setups are still in place. They're just going to do it next season. And that's what's kind of frustrating with me. I feel like maybe I'm on the side of some of the people who are like, when I say there were some filler, not that none of the episodes weren't good, but I'm like, they could have progressed the story, I feel like, much more with individual characters than they did.
And you want to know my real feeling about all these things,
Sure.
just as a bow?
Sure.
not a Bo-Katan, but a Bo,
Yeah, I got you.
is that I have a feeling we're going to really start seeing these crossovers. So I'm banking on these characters. Like, we don't have to wait till season 4. We're gonna see something in Ahsoka. I think Mando will probably make an appearance. Mando might be in Skeleton Crew. So I think we're gonna see some off-season growth because the bigger picture going forward is
Right.
like to me that ending scene was all right. Hang tight for now.
Yeah, but that'll leads me to my next point of frustration a little bit.
Yeah.
Since Ahsoka is on the way, I really wanted some sort of introduction or crossover into leading into the Ahsoka series, right?
Fully agree. I think that was
Some
a big
kind of Thrawn cameo
opportunity.
or reference to Thrawn
Yeah.
or reference to Ezra or Ahsoka or
Cal.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some sort of tease that just didn't come. And yes, could they do that? Or will there be some crossover in Ahsoka? I have no doubt. I think you're
Yeah.
right about that. But obviously they're not going to use the series premiere to bring in Din. They're going to make that about Ahsoka, right? You would think anyway. So yes, am I hoping Din or maybe Cal or somebody shows up in the season? Of course, I'm hoping that happens. So that was another one. The other thing is I feel like, and of course they kind of teased it at the end too, but you know, they made a big deal about the mythosaur and then we didn't see anything, you know, and I think I know where you're going. They did kind of do a Grogu foreshadowing mythosaur thing. And we've seen in the past, Grogu obviously kind of in a same vein as Ezra has a connection to
More like
other
Ahsoka.
sentient beings. Ahsoka as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
because he tamed the Rancor too.
Yes. And so yes, they did kind of allude to that,
Absolutely.
you know, but I guess I was thinking maybe Bo or Din would play a part. It's weird to tease it and wait a whole season, a different season to get the payoff.
I think you're feeling like, yes, I see the teases, I see the long game, but I just kind of expected and wanted a little more.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, maybe it's impatience on my part. You know what I mean?
Well, I think as a finale, you want to see just a little more oomph.
Sure. And like I was saying, I think they went all out on the spectacle of the finale. I don't think a lot of character progression was done in this finale. If that, I guess, and maybe you don't feel the same way, and you know,
I'll give you that.
and so this, and like I said, I have no problem with the spectacle. The fight scenes were amazing.
Yeah,
You know, especially Grogu saving them at the end was like, what? I mean, that was actually a pretty emotional scene. I was like, wow, this is really
Like
a
Kanan, too.
strong scene, dude. I didn't even make that connection, but
yeah,
that is totally. And
it was
so
just cool, and
it
like,
was
and of course when that little adorable plop down after every time.
yeah, or his little walk like at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just it's so freaking adorable.
Yeah, it is cool. It was cool. So, so there were just little things like that. I don't want to make it like any of it was make or break or like I'm not going to watch the series anymore.
On a scale of The Last Jedi to, you know,
yeah, I don't know.
Return
Yes,
of
it's
the
obviously,
Jedi, it's probably in the middle.
I would watch this, you know, 10 out of 10 compared to Last Jedi.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. So the other thing I want to bring up, which I thought was kind of a weird twist, is I don't really think I saw the Gideon clones coming. Was that on your radar at all? Not really.
No, not at all. I think we all were speculating that these were the preliminary trials of cloning Palpatine or Snoke, if you want to say Snoke is Palpatine. Like, that's kind of what it was leading us to believe. And then we find out that Gideon had Dr. Pershing, wanted Grogu, and was building force sensitive versions of himself. Like I just, yeah, that caught me off guard.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of dots to connect that
Yeah,
maybe weren't all clearly marked. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, would Gideon, a clone of Gideon, even be able to wield the Force? Like, is it
that's the
that
thing.
simple?
I
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was an odd take, and I don't know how they want us to interpret it, but it seems lazy writing. Maybe Gideon though really had no understanding and was just so like cocky. He just figured that that's how it would work. So I don't know. I think power corrupts, and Gideon is a good example of that, of the rise and fall.
Yeah, I just thought maybe there was a deeper plot line with Gideon that
Hmm.
we didn't see play out. Like maybe he would be a bigger adversary towards Thrawn, like as making a power play. But
Yeah,
they wrapped the, put a bow on it in
like
this
he's
finale.
gone. He got Los Hermanos. If you like, for real.
Yeah, he's gone. This
Or
time, we're pretty sure anyway. My thing, I told you, it's like I just think it's silly that it was so easy to destroy the clones, and he
I
was like,
know.
and he was so like taken aback by, I can't believe you did that.
I'm putting all my life's work into this, but you can destroy them with two buttons.
Yeah, so that was kind of a letdown, kind of a thing. I know you want to wrap things up in a finale, but you know what I mean. I thought he was
uh,
more of a mastermind.
there's a big red button. It just says terminate.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I get you there. That's
Yeah.
that's almost on par with Obi-Wan walking with little Leia in his big jacket.
Leia's like the like hide and seek champion, like parkour like just most deceptively fast child
That
in the
was
world.
the equivalent of the Tatooine Speed Racer Power Rangers.
She
It
has
was
like
like,
she has like force slow on her bar. It's like so she can just get away. She
man,
like she can kite everyone. No, I think that is the frustrating thing, right?
yeah,
Because we see the potential of a lot of these characters, the shows, and then the
yeah,
just the small details that sometimes don't come off right. And
yeah.
it obviously disappoints us, but in reality, I know it's extremely difficult to make a
It
cohesive
is.
story in a 30-minute show.
And
Yeah,
hey, I mean, I'm not a writer, um, so I'm not, I don't who am I to criticize, but some things are questionable for these people they're paying a lot of money to.
yeah, but like we said, overall, like I'm not unhappy with where Mandalorian is going.
No,
You know what I mean? I think there's still cool stories they can tell. Obviously, they're going to figure out what they're going to do with Din and Grogu moving forward. What are their adventures going to be like? Obviously, Bo-Katan has been brought into the family, have brought into this show and made a huge character. So we know
yeah,
she's going to have something moving forward. And then now, though, we need a new antagonist,
yeah,
so that'll be whether they go with the armor next season, like there's some kind of division there, or if it's they bring in Thrawn, or I don't really know where they're going to go, but I'm very interested to see where they do go with,
that's why I
you
said
know,
I think the armor could still be not necessarily a double agent, but that she just has her own prime agenda.
correct. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see that 'cause she's a badass too, man. That scene
Yeah.
with her and the
Yeah.
hammers while flying was just wicked.
For sure. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see where that goes. Let's transition into what was our things that we liked about this season? Maybe some of our
Yeah,
favorites. Not even just like specific moments, but maybe like certain characters that
yeah.
we like the progression, or
I
some
mean,
of the
for,
implications of what's going to happen in the future that we're glad this season set up.
yeah. I
So,
mean, if,
where do you want to start?
even on the most. So I want to just say I was thinking about it. Boba Fett was so cool looking in The Empire Strikes Back that they went and built an entire civilization and this intricate system into Mandalorians off just one cool looking guy. And that I just think that's awesome. Like it's such a rich, entertaining part of the lore off of just that random character that didn't say a word but looked awesome. So I just think that's super cool.
No, I love the Mandalorian storyline. I think
Yeah.
they're very interesting people, and they're obviously like a warrior,
Yep.
people. And they're the thing that's cool about him, kind of your point about Boba, is he could actually defeat Jedi. Like he
Yeah.
was so skilled that and so anytime you see someone who is an equal to the Jedi, because if Jedi and Sith are the most powerful, then there's like no checks and balances like
Right.
in the galaxy, right? So to see that they're not like invincible,
Yes.
towards just regular warriors, maybe warriors who have way more training and it's ingrained in their society, but
Yeah.
they're almost like Spartans in a sense. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Kind
Exactly.
of. Yeah, yeah. Yes. And so, yeah, that is cool. And I like seeing this Mandalorian storyline. And kind of to your point, I think this is maybe low hanging fruit, but I think my favorite thing about the season, which, because I think maybe they made it the focal point, was the progression of Bo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think at least I was very wary of her character in the beginning. Like, what are her intentions here? Is she, gonna try to take the dark saber from Din? Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna be pitted against each other? Kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think we've seen a character progression and arc in her, where she, before when she wanted to lead Mandalore, she obviously wasn't ready. You know what I mean? And I think they've brought her full circle to be like, okay, now she is in a place. She's had growth as a character.
Yeah.
She wants to bring the Mandalorians together now, kind of a thing, instead of ruling from a place of power necessarily. So I don't know. I was really happy with
And
the
she kind
progression of Bo.
of came full circle. She said the previous episode that she made the deal with Gideon and trusted him to
Yes.
save
Yeah,
her
yeah.
people. And then in this
Yeah.
episode, she led with the dark saber, showing that this is the way
Mm-hmm.
we have to fight them.
Yes, we have to unify. Yeah, we can't rely on anyone else but ourselves,
Yeah.
for our best interests, kind of a thing.
And I think that's a big character. Like we learned a lot about her in the Clone Wars show. So it's cool to see that flawless crossover, I think.
Yeah, 100%. The other thing that I'm probably the most interested in seeing is I really don't know where they're going to go with Grogu. Like, what is... I know we touched on it a little bit before, but, they teased the mythosaur. What's the connection there? Do you have a theory of what they're kind of doing? Is that the...
I mean, surface level, he has a connection with animals and all life. So I think there's going to be, that was foreshadowing that he will be the one to probably communicate with it, interact, tame, whatever you want to call. And what implications those have.
Is he going to be the ruler of Mandalore before it's over with? Is he going to tame the mythosaur and become the...
It's weird, man. Like, it's really weird to think about because it seems so...
The dark saber is gone now, right? So
Yeah.
more
So-
emphasis is placed on the mythosaur, right?
Because
of
now
that?
they need something that is the symbol of ruling Mandalore.
Right.
And is the mythosaur
They love their
that.
trinkets. Wasn't that the line that Moff Gideon
Yeah.
said?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to hint at. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really confused on how he's gonna grow in the Force without a Jedi Master. You know
Man,
what I mean?
I just think they've really built a big picture going forward.
So yeah, guys, let us know in the comments down below. What did you think about the finale? Did it meet your standards? Did they give you enough payoffs to some of the things they've been building up? And what do you think about the series moving forward? I mean, what's going to happen with Din and Grogu? Man, we'd love to have a dialogue with you guys about everything you think about this one. And man, if you continue to like these types of episodes, give us a like. Subscribe to the channel, and we're going to keep bringing more stuff. We're super excited for Ahsoka, coming up. So
Yeah.
that's definitely on the radar. So anyway, man, thanks you guys for joining us, and see you in the next one.
Jumanji.